me start my video. Good morning, everyone. All right, so for those of you who did not hear, we're going to be using the PKnot for the entirety of today. Make sure you have plenty of water for both before and after these sessions. And what I want to focus on right now is the trap area at about a 45-degree angle with the PKnot. Feel free to do this on the floor, or like me, we're going to be on the dresser. You can use a wall as well. And I'm going to cross my arms like so, kind of giving myself a little bear hug as I move side to side. I say side to side, I'm really going at an angle here. That is the same angle as the PKnot. Just leaning back as much as I can against my dresser. And I'm using the dresser today because I have a little bit more control this way. I know I'm very, very sensitive on the traps this morning, so I want to ease into it by just leaning against the wall or dresser instead of lying on the floor. 3, 2, 1. Excellent. We got a few seconds here to switch from one side to the other. Again, right on the back here on the traps, maybe a little bit higher at a 45-degree angle. Place that right on the wall or the floor. We're going to move side to side. Again, I say side to side, but that is at an angle. So I'm moving a little bit up and down, keeping my head down, chin close to the chest, wrapping my arms. And this side is actually a little bit more sensitive. I see a knot here, so I'm going to hold in place. If you find a knot, you can do the same. Just holding for about 5, no more than 10 seconds before you start moving side to side again. This is going to be the first and only time I'm using my dresser. Everything else will be on the floor today. We got 5 seconds left. And excellent. All right, grabbing that PKnot, placing it on the floor. What I want to do is get this PKnot right under the shoulder joint. Straightening out this arm here, palm is facing the ceiling. Move out of the way as I move my arm at about a 90-degree angle. Nice and straight. Doing my best to keep that PKnot in place. If anyone at home is using a PKnot and they're having trouble keeping it upright, you can grab that neck with your thumb and index finger as you move your arm up and down. Should be right under the chest muscle. And about 45 seconds for everything today. 5 seconds left before we switch sides. Excellent. All right. After all that rug burn. Moving to the other side, again, right under the shoulder joint or on the chest muscle. Straighten out your arm. Your palm should be facing up towards the ceiling. And moving side and back down. I'm making sure I have full range of motion during this time by letting my thumb stick out, and I'm going to bring it in as much as I can until that thumb taps the edge of my hip. Again, a 90-degree angle. That's all we're doing, moving as far out to the side as we can, and then back down. Remember to breathe, pressing down on the PKnot as much as you can. Nearly done, and excellent. All right, moving from the shoulder joints to the upper back. So we're going to make sure that this is on our back like so. We're going to be a little bit higher, just under the neck here. So I'm going to bring it here. Just under the traps. And for this, I'm going to lift up my hips just to get a little bit more out of this exercise. And I'm going to move my arms up and down, kind of like making a snow angel. Again, my hips are off the floor. If that's too much for anyone at home, you can rest your glutes for this one. If you are resting your head and your glutes on the floor, I recommend you bring your arms up just a little bit higher so you can open up the back a little bit more that way. And I always prefer to lift my head up because that does help with opening up the back muscles. That's what we're targeting now. All right, with that timer, what I'd like to do is take that PKnot and we're gonna move it from the upper part of the back to the midsection here. This is gonna be a lot more challenging. You might find it difficult to breathe, in which case I would recommend just keep your glutes on the floor, or you might wanna come up a little bit higher as well. By higher, I mean you can move downward a little bit. That PKnot will roll up towards the upper part of your back. Do what works best for you. Breathing is very important for this one. Take it nice and slow. We got about 10 seconds left. I'm gonna lift up my hips just a little bit more. And we'll do one more. All right, moving down to the lower part of our back now. So I don't want it on the hip. I want it a little bit higher, right about here. For this one, resting on the floor, keep the hips off the floor, hands on the floor, palms on the floor. We're gonna take one leg and bring that knee in and then straighten it out just like that. I know you can't see right now, but I am letting my straight leg here hover over the floor. I'm not tapping my heel on the floor. And I'm doing everything I can to round my hips. So I'm contracting at the core, lifting my hips as far away from the floor as I can, especially when I straighten out my leg. I should feel quite a bit of pressure in the lower back, should help to open up those muscles. Anyone ever has low back pain, this might be just what you need to wake up those muscles, get them a little bit stronger. We're gonna switch legs now. So tuck that knee in. And 3, 2, 1. Let's straighten it out. Started a little early there, that's okay. Again, round your hips as much as you can, really contracting at the core, lifting your hips as far away from the floor as you can. If you'd like, you can lean a little bit on the side you're moving, so you can get a little more pressure in that way. It's all up to you. Again, do your best to hover that leg as you straighten it out. Try not to tap the floor or anything else that might be close by. We got less than 10 seconds and we're gonna move on to the IT band. All right, excellent. Okay, like I said, moving on to the IT band, which is on the very side of our leg. We're gonna let this PKnot roll up and down like so. We're gonna do small sections here, leaning on the side and moving up and down just like that. Using my hands here, I'm on my elbow, and then resting this hand here so I have a little more control in my movements. A little challenging right now. I am trying to let this straight leg here hover while I bend and extend just a little bit at this knee. And as we're about halfway through for this side, I'm going to bring it down towards the knee so I can work the lower half. Just doing small motions here for small sections of this part of the body. And 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, switching to the other side. Again, make sure that this PKnot is like so when you're lying on your side and rolling up and down. I have it started towards the hip and then go down about halfway down the upper part of my leg. Taking your time. If you feel like you want to lean forward or back a little bit, try to get different angles of the leg. And again, if you feel a knot, you can hold it in place, applying as much pressure as you can tolerate for about 5 or 10 seconds. You take that pause whenever you need to. All right, we're a little more than halfway, so I'm going to bring it down to my knee and work the lower half. After this, we have one more exercise to work on. It's going to be on the quads. All right. Now for this one, it's a little different. Again, working the quads. So pick a side, resting down. And there are a few ways we can work this area. Feel free to move forward or back whenever needed. We're going to lift up that leg. The knee should be off the floor as we bend and extend. We'll bend and extend. I'm bending and extending, obviously, the leg that's just over the PKnot. And as I bend my knee, that should open up the muscles in the quads. Straighten that out, move down just a little bit so I can get different areas. Feel free to do 1 to 3 bends with me before you move up or down to get a different part of the quad. All right, 45 seconds there. Switching to the other leg. Resting down like so. And 3, 2, 1, let's bend and extend. I'm going to change my angle here. Bring the PKnot towards the knee, bend and extend. I'll move up just a little bit higher. Again, if you feel a knot, you can either hold in place, leaning on that side, or you can just keep moving. It's all up to you. We got about 15 seconds left, and that'll be the end of today's session. For that leg you're bending and extending, make sure that knee stays off the floor. Just a couple more. And all done with that. Woo! My core is feeling it after all that. All right. So thank you all for joining me this morning. If you did not know, this is actually going to be our last week for trigger point training. That being said, don't worry, we still have all of those sessions we did in the past. You can find that on YouTube on our stretch and trigger point training playlists. I think we have them on both for PKnot, exercise balls, rolling pins, foam rollers, everything like that. So thank you for joining myself and Dylan on Tuesdays and Thursdays these last few weeks. It feels like a couple months now. If you have any questions or comments as to what we've just went over or anything in general, feel free to let me know in the chat. Make sure you drink plenty of water for both before and after these sessions. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next workout. Bye, everyone.